It sounds like it was a lot of fun to work on that project.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard to leave eventually. Because I'm like a lifetime World of Warcraft player, and I love the game so much, and so many of my friends and so much of my like community plays the game. Then eventually, I felt like I had reached my ceiling there, and I wasn't really going to learn much, and there wasn't much of room for like advancement, or, if I wanted to flex my leadership skills, there just weren't a lot of opportunities for that, and so I eventually went over to the Diablo 4 project. And it broke my heart, but it was a new set of like invigorating challenges and an amazing team. So I don't regret it at all, but I did miss World of Warcraft a lot.
So when you switched over to Diablo, then what position did you take on with that team?
So it was similar in capacity. I was still a senior game designer, which is where I had left off on World of Warcraft. But it was in a very different role. So and this is what people will mean when they say, like, it really depends on the game that you're working on, the team structure that you're working on. Because on a team like World of Warcraft, you're like, as a contributor in a contributor role, you are kind of like siloed to your team. Like the encounters team that are making dungeons will work really, really closely together. But you don't have to worry about, say, like, there's a whole separate pipeline for like visual effects and for animations, and whereas you'll have some input, especially if it's something new, you have to say, like, I have a boss and it's like a chest up boss and he's got to go like this or whatever. You'll have some input on it, but the teams are kind of segmented, so they'll have their own pipeline and structure that they're working on. You'll have your own, and eventually you'll cross, like you'll get your asset or whatever. It was very different on the Diablo team because it was more of like a pod structure where a lot of us cross-discipline would come together with the ultimate goal. So if it was like make a boss, then there would be an animator and a VFX artist, and we'd all have to work in lockstep to eventually like ship this creation that we all came up with together. And I learned so much about collaboration. I learned so much about how, like, good design isn't just good design on paper. It's design that like serves the player, serves your needs for like personal satisfaction, or just like it either meets the vision that you are going for, it wasn't, but also like no matter how good of a design that you have, and no matter like what your intentions are with a design, if you can't work or collaborate with a team and get a team excited about it, and sometimes that requires that there are compromises, or sometimes they give you an idea that's completely out of left field that's amazing, that really like plus ones the design, right? Like learning to collaborate in that way, I feel like was a huge growth movement for me, because I was able to think outside of the box a lot more, given the feedback from all these other people. And I learned that if people aren't on the same page, the amount of time it takes to ship something or get something into playable like status will be exponentially longer than if everyone is like understands the vision, they're all on board with the vision, and they're all plus oneing it with their ideas. There's just like a night and day difference. And so like I feel like even though I didn't change titles, I didn't go from senior to senior 2 or to principal, I feel like I learned so much going to that team.
So it was just sort of a better system.
I mean, better, yes and no. I mean, it's better. Like I would say, like, for me personally, I did enjoy that environment a lot more. But for results, like if you're looking for something that's established, like a 15-year-old game like World of Warcraft, there's so much that you can. You're not like pioneering a lot. You're pioneering a new mechanic, or you're pioneering a new story, but like really the rules of World of Warcraft are pretty set, right? There's like the golden path, which is like questing, and there's all those systems involved with that, with like looting quest items and kill collects and escort quests and all the stuff that, like, yes, you can innovate on and you can add more to, but I feel like you don't have to like pioneer a ton of new game systems or gameplay very often in those kind of games. So it doesn't really require that much collaboration, because everyone's sort of on the same page. Everyone understands the baselines of World of Warcraft. We understand the art style. We understand the rules around what the fantasy looks like and what the monster should feel like. And so it different strokes for different folks, you know?